It's the Beige Book. I can't keep them straight. Whether it's the Beige Books or the minutes from the meeting, they excite me so much I can't stand it. But we've got Steve Liesman standing by with those reports. Steve.
Detecting a little sarcasm in your voice there, Tyler, but we'll talk about that later. Economic activity, according to the latest Beige Book, the collection of economic anecdotes from around the 12 Federal Reserve districts, was little changed. Interesting contrast with the data showing an accelerating economy. Only 2 districts reported modest growth, which is pretty interesting and a little bit on the downbeat side. There was declining manufacturing in most districts. Consumer spending was reported to have been mixed, with consumers shifting towards less expensive items in some districts. The housing market generally held up with a lot of uncertainty about mortgage rates. There were only minor disruptions from the dock workers' strike, but more widespread in the southeast disruptions from hurricane damage, including to crops and other businesses. The contexts were more optimistic about the longer-term outlook than they appear to have been in the September Beige Book. Employment increased only slightly, again, a little bit contradicting the data, which recently showed stronger job growth. The districts reported low worker turnover and limited layoffs, which is an important part of keeping the job market relatively stable. On the inflation issue, selling prices increasing were only slight and increasing at a modest pace. Home prices did edge up, and rents reported to be slightly steady or down slightly. That's important for the way that we calculate inflation and the CPI. Districts reported increasing pricing sensitivity among consumers. There's that pushback we've been talking about. And the firm's profit margins compressed because of higher input prices and then not passing them along. So interesting developments here. We'll see if this tends to take some of the edge off the concern about an accelerating economy that has pushed down the Dow, as well as pushing up interest rates since the Federal Reserve cut them back in September.
Go back
Tyler?
to that point you made at the top of the report on manufacturing, that it seems to be slowing.
Yes, a declining manufacturing in most districts. This is along the lines of some of the data we've seen, though. I must say some of the regional Federal Reserve manufacturing surveys have been a little bit robust. You know, Tyler, sometimes this Beige Book, and it's a reason why I do think it's a very important report, it does lead the way, and maybe sometimes it's a little bit behind the data. If it's in front of the data here, then it's telling you that the strength we saw in the third quarter might be waning as the quarter comes to a close, which means that it's not going to continue into the fourth quarter, and the Fed has less to worry about. Same thing is true with what you singled out there, the manufacturing decline. If indeed things are waning and getting a little bit softer towards the end of the quarter, then again, that inflation concern and that growth concern that seems to be embedded both in the Dow and in the bond market, well, there's reason for that to ease, and we'll have to just check in when we get this October data beginning in November as to whether or not this Beige Book is indeed leading the way. And by the way, in this time of uncertainty, when we're not 100% sure what's going on in this economy, I've seen Fed officials lean more on this anecdotal data about figuring out what to do than the hard data.
I would almost argue, Steve, that bad Beige Book, what was it, a month ago or 6 weeks ago, preceded that 50 basis points cut. But is this tone as bad as that one was?
Well, Kelly, you don't have to argue that with me. I agree with you completely. I think, no, this is not as bad as it was. I fully expected, I want to tell you my expectation going into this. I thought this Beige Book was going to reflect some of the better economic data that we've seen, and I was surprised. I've been surprised that it has not done so. So I think it's important in that respect. It can do a good job when we don't know. And by the way, we also know the data is going to be distorted by the hurricanes, is going to be distorted by some of the seasonal things that are out there at this time of year. So again, I wouldn't say that the survey data or the anecdotal data is more important than the hard data, but I would put it on an equal footing at this time with the actual data that we're getting.
All right, Steve, thank you so much. We appreciate that and the analysis that went with it. We appreciate it.